Hey, it's Ryan, the Sash Guy for Fenster Components. We're out here with Ben today on an install. We're now offering installation with our products, so we'd like to show you some of the highlights of how a typical installation would go. So how to get started? Really, that's usually the first question. Disconnecting your hardware so you can free the sash up to get it out of the opening is where you want to start. On a Casement sash, Cradcos, Norcos, all of our biggest sellers, you have a dual arm operator that has two connection points on the sash. You got a track that brings the sash in and out, and you've got a control arm in the back that guides it and puts tension on it so you can pull it in tight. So to disconnect your operator, there's an arrow here in the middle of the track. You want to line up the end of your control arm with that arrow, and it'll pop right out. And then your control arm in the back has this clip that you just need to release off the stud, and it pops right off most of the time. And then it always helps crank your operator all the way in so it's out of the way and it doesn't get hung up on anything. So one of the things we wanted to point out here is this is one of the common challenges you're going to see when you start taking casement windows out. When you see windows that are this deteriorated, it can be difficult to pull the old one out before you can put the new one back in. So it's a little trickier trying to get them out when they're falling apart like this, but it can be done. So your next step in the process is, as you can see, we have this new sash laying next to the old sash. You're just going to take off all of your existing hardware from the old sash and begin to transfer that over to the new sash in all the same spots. As Ben's trading this hardware over, just wanted to mention that it's typical that you would just reuse the existing hardware. We get a lot of customers thinking that that's another added expense, that they have to buy all new hardware with a new sash. We'll gladly sell it to you, but you don't necessarily need it. A lot of times, as long as the hinges aren't corroded, your worm gears on your operators aren't broken, there's really no reason to buy new hardware. You can reuse the old and just put it on the new sash. All right, did you hear that noise? It's a little troubleshooting 101. There's two things to consider here when you're putting a brand new window sash in a 30-year-old window frame, okay? Going back to the weather stripping issue, yes, they all come with a new weather stripping on it, but that's just the point. It's brand new weather stripping. You have to compare that to the old sash that has been in this opening for 30 plus years. That weather stripping has relaxed. It's found its home, so to speak, in that opening, and it's been compressed for all those years. Of course, it's going to fit much looser than the whole brand new sash going in, with the weather stripping being much more rigid, much more firm. We kind of do that as a design improvement to begin with, because most people want their windows to fit tight and snug. That means they're cutting down on drafting and better energy efficiency. So when you hear that noise, yeah, you got to think it's going to fit tight when you first put it in. But after it relaxes in the opening for a while, that weather stripping, it'll get hot, it'll get cold, it'll kind of find its home in that new opening. And a couple, 2 or 3 months later, you're going to find that it's going to work just fine. Well, there you have it. Short amount of time, Ben's got the windows all put back together. Just goes to show you how fast and convenient sash replacement can be over tearing that whole window out and starting over with a new one. Much more cost effective, quick and easy, and we even put the blinds back up.